All right, good afternoon. I have Miss Tracy White here at Athenian Academy of Technology and the Arts. It is Wednesday, May 27th, and it is about 2 p.m. And we're going to talk about a significant life event. And right now, that significant life event is the current pandemic crisis. So, Miss White,
Yes.
in dealing with this, you have home life, and what changes is this doing at your home?
There are changes at home. Immediately I think of cleaning. I'm pretty fanatic about germs in general, so my cleaning regimen has actually not changed tremendously. I've stepped it up a notch, but typically I do a little light cleaning in the morning, a little light cleaning in the evenings. I'm generally one who will come home from work, shower immediately, so as to ward off germs. So that part of my life at home has not changed. I will say during this pandemic, because it forced all of us to come to a complete stop and be quarantined for some time, that was actually a positive thing for me. I tend to work long hours, so it afforded me time to actually slow down, to actually rest, spend time with the family. I exercised more regularly than I typically would because the gyms were closed. I would exercise at home, of course. I actually made a conscious effort to eat well, protein, low carbs, just to try to keep my immune system up so that I hopefully would not get sick. Again, I would exercise for the immune system in hopes that I would not get sick. And really, I concentrate on getting a lot of rest because I typically don't get a lot of rest. I work long hours, long days, thereby I'm really not getting probably the right amount of sleep that I should be getting. So again, the pandemic was a good time for me to actually concentrate on getting enough sleep and rest and try to stay healthy. Sounds silly, but I also, spent family time that we typically don't get with our family members. So I spent time with family, actually got to enjoy TV, catch up on movies. All to me is therapeutic. And I also spend time checking in on family, friends that live out of state, out of town. I normally, of course, touch bases with them, but made a concentrated effort to really check in on them, whether I would text them, email them, a little FaceTime. I would actually send care packages. I would send care packages to my mom, who's, of course, of an older population. I sent her toilet paper, a few other, items. I physically would send cards and or handwritten letters and notes to people, and just checking on people regularly to really see how everybody's doing mentally and emotionally during the crisis. So that's how I spent a good deal of time, which also changed for me that I actually had the time to do that.
That's so sweet that you sent the care packages. I mean, I sent my daughter toilet paper, so I understand what you're saying, to talk to some people and have it. But that's really sweet that you cared, thought about your mother. And of course, you can't go see her.
I know, exactly.
And you can't bring her here.
She was top on the list when truly we couldn't get out and we could not find those essential products while I was out. I just made sure I wrapped up some things, put it in the mail.
That is perfect. So then now I know that we were at first allowed to go to work. Did you make some changes when we were first like, okay, we're not going to have the school open, but you're at work? How was that?
I would come to work. Fortunately, I'm in my office, which I do share the space with other individuals. But since we were in that pandemic mode and the quarantine period, I was the only one in the office. So I would come in, stay exclusively in the office by myself. So that worked out well. However, I did take some work home, maybe try to do a little bit of work from home for 2 days, then, back and forth, maybe work 3 days in the office, 2 days at home. So pretty much the month of April, I believe it was, I was doing that.
Yeah.
Remotely working as well as coming in. Because
And
I can't do everything from home in my line of work. I do have to.
Oh,
I
yes.
do have
Oh,
to.
I
Sometimes
see.
I have to check the mail, so that's critical.
Right. And that makes it essential because there might be money coming and
exactly, we have to pay,
money
have to pay the
outgoing.
bills. I have to do payroll.
So you were still coming in even
in.
after we were not supposed to. You
Correct.
still, as an essential employee.
Correct. I had to kind of make sure things were done.
Wow. So as far as that goes with the school, now we are closing up for the year, and we have to look at interactions with, because we work with students,
Correct.
what is the current plan as ongoing,
For it. Well, fortunately, again, we have some downtime to see what numbers are looking like. We are, of course, following closely what the CDC is recommending, and so far as that. Again, this is the first week we've had teachers back, so it's been relatively quiet and remote on our campus. But with teachers, I personally am trying to follow the CDC guidelines as far as social distancing. When possible, I think we should all wear our masks when we're in common areas on campus, of course. As much as we truly have a family atmosphere at our work environment, I personally still want to reach out, ask how people are doing. You want to be compassionate and respectful. Really, we're just lacking, well, for me, just that physical contact. But, and if I'm wearing my mask, it's hard. People don't see you smiling. So I try to be expressive with my eyes as much as I can when I'm wearing
That's a
my
good
mask,
point.
whether it's, at work or even in a grocery store. I just try to utilize my eyes.
Yeah, I've noticed people saying hi more when I walk around my neighborhood, which we are of a friendly neighborhood, but they're even more of a point of it.
Which is really nice to see.
Another thing is usually you would be taking tours and parents that are potentially going to be students and family members here. And is that ceased totally?
That, unfortunately, is currently on hold.
And that will be going forward even?
To show our beautiful campus to potential incoming families, but unfortunately in March we had to cease that.
And that's huge, because usually you would have towards the end of the year, like people every day, several people a day, and all that's done.
Contact, they like seeing our classrooms live, and we expose ourselves and we open ourselves up so people can truly see what we have to offer. So yeah, that and a little bit of a hindrance, but
that's also, we're not going to be able to have our introductory kindergarten where the students go.
We only have kindergarten camp. We cannot do that this year is what we're thinking, and we also have registration nights throughout the summer for a lot of our returning families or new families, so they can come and acquire supply lists, answer questions that need to be answered, drop off emergency cards. Because those involve larger crowds, we're either going to need to strategically plan how we can work around that, or we may not have to have our typical registration nights that we are used to.
That's a typical school. Yeah, and then we're a small campus, just to notate that. This is a very small campus. It's usually a very family oriented, like really friendly. Everybody knows everybody's name, everybody knows everybody's face kind of place. And also that kindergarten camp is a great way for the kindergarten students to be introduced to what it's like and the drill. So that's, and also dance camps, and a lot of things have had to be canceled, our big productions with Musical.ly and trips and field trips. Now, looking to the future, how do you think that is going to affect your home life? Like, do you think it's going to have a permanent, or not permanent, let's say, just looking in the near future?
Honestly, I'm one of those people, I really live day to day, so I don't try to get too far ahead of myself. And naturally, I'm an optimistic person, so I wholeheartedly believe that we will at some point get back to our what we call normal way of life. I truly believe one day we will be going to concerts again, sporting events, all that good stuff. At home, I think for me, I'm vigilant about cleaning, so that will probably remain intact. Hopefully, I can keep up my hyper vigilant cleaning. But as we get, I guess, to a better, more normal state again, I probably won't see my family as often, because, of course, we'll get busy again and get back to our normal busy lives. So that will probably also, when I'm enjoying the family time now. But unfortunately, at some point we'll get back to all living our busy lives again.
Yeah. So. Now, what about with the school? Do you think that they're looking to the future, there's going to be a drastic change here, and now we do things for the next year, or so?
I think immediately we'll probably strongly encourage the constant hand washing, I would hope. I do know personally I've already implemented, if you've noticed, perhaps on some of the mirrors in our restrooms.
I did.
I have decals on our mirrors, so we can encourage our students to make sure that they're washing, beware of germs. So we're trying to encourage them with that signage. That was my idea. I'm sure we'll probably get some hand sanitizing stations throughout our
Maybe even
buildings,
have them
so
in the
we'll have
bathroom.
those, so that we can have those for people, and we'll probably have to filter and really monitor the inflow of visitors. It's a good reminder that people, parents in particular, might not need to always be on campus as often as they are. So perhaps we'll have to, monitor that a little more regimentedly.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we're already pretty strict anyway, and I
mhm.
was gonna, like, sometimes we've had like shows for kindergarten or
Mhm.
different things. Now, do you feel any of these changes will be permanent? Like, we're gonna just, it's gonna change the way we live
It's
now.
going to change the way we live. But hopefully, if everybody is really hyper vigilant about the hand washing, which I think is a big factor in all of this, then hopefully one day we can all, restore our lives as we know them to be.
But
But
just maybe a little cleaner.
just a little cleaner, I think, and just being hyper aware. Also, I think this is another reminder that when someone's not feeling well, you should not go to school or work. I think that's also gonna
And
encourage people to don't just think that you need to go in and you just a fever can be a really sign of something serious, and you really don't want to expose others. Even if you have the common cold, it's probably just a good reminder that if you aren't feeling well, don't expose others.
all right. So, is there any other last thoughts about how this is affecting you or how or your work in a significant way?
Good final question. Let me think what I've missed. No, I really think it was just a good break for all of us. I think to just reset, a good reminder to remember what's important to us, to remember to be compassionate, to remember to be healthy and clean, and do all we can to stay that way.
Well, I know that you always seem perfectly put together. It's always so clean in here. I come in here and I'm like, because everything else feels a little gross. So maybe it'll
And
be a
if
little
you
cleaner.
notice, I don't know if you ever noticed, for example, if I am using a pen, I don't share my pen with others. That's
Oh,
one
I
of my
don't.
little
Yeah.
things. I usually don't let others
I don't
use
like
my
people to
phone.
use my phone
So I
either.
usually take all those little precautions in life to really try to keep myself as well as I can. And we're, as you know, we're around kids all day,
Yes,
every
and the
day.
fact that
And
you don't
kids
get sick a
are,
lot,
and
I'm
that's why I
thinking
think
you're
the things that I do kind of help me, I hope, stay healthy.
good. All right. Well,
So,
thank you very much, Miss White. It's been an
Yes,
honor
ma'am.
and a privilege to interview you. You're at the Hub. We couldn't live without you.
Thank you so
So
much.
really appreciate your
Thank you.
time.